Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Ancestral Blood one-on-one session between, of course, Willow and Adder. Welcome, Adder, back to the Ancestral Blood table. Happy to have you back.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here playing a cool Brujah. I keep saying cool, which makes it less cool. I'll stop now.
Look, everybody wants to know. Everybody always asks about when Adder is returning. So here he is. He's back, everybody.
Mm-hmm. The people want him.
Yeah, the people ask for Adder. So for everybody who's watching this live on Twitch, this is actually pre-recorded. So you're watching it on Twitch, but we actually pre-recorded this earlier in the week and are airing it during our usual Ancestral Blood airing time. But it is technically, we're not live, even though it's live. So that's just a heads up for everybody watching on Twitch. For all of you watching on YouTube, it's the same old. And so, yeah, that's basically what we have going on here tonight. Do know that in the next couple of episodes, they will be similar to this, where we're going to be doing some one-offs between several members of the coterie and perhaps other NPC guest PCs as well. And the full coterie, all four of the Lysanders, will be back together in August. So the next couple of episodes will be one-offs, which actually I think makes sense because all three of them have their own agendas and motivations at this point in the story. So it's hard to do it during a regular session. It's just like a lot of stuff, and you know, sometimes it takes a lot of time. So these like little one-offs give a glimpse of the personal character motivations and the stuff that they are pursuing on their own time. So with all of that said, without further ado, let us dive into our one-off of Ancestral Blood. Willow, the nights have become increasingly hard on you, with the revelations that have come, not just with all of the things that you've learned about your family, but even the stuff happening with your own siblings, between Dorian and Silas especially. You can't help but feel lost. And in some ways, I think you may have always felt you didn't really have a place in all of this. You never felt like you belonged, despite the goals that your father has for your brother, for your other sister, Val, and even for Silas. And now, even with all of the history, the family history that you've been learning, and the things that you've seen in your visions as of late, it's been a lot. And after a dinner between your siblings, but really mostly between Caden and Dorian, you decided to take some time on your own and head to a familiar location of the Anarchs. It's been quite a few weeks since you've been here. You do try to visit on your own free time every once in a while, but it's with all the stuff that's been happening with the hunters, Prince Jackson kind of putting a lockdown on things. You haven't been able to communicate with Adder as much as you would hope, but besides the usual passing of letters between Monty and Machiavelli across the city, where you're able to get at least a little bit of information in, but it's not the same as when you're able to actually see him. But tonight, you take Lucas and you decide it's time. You need to get some space. You need to go visit the Anarchs and, of course, go visit Adder. So we see a familiar warehouse on the outskirts of the city, quite east of Chicago. You head toward the entrance and you see that looks like it's actually a busy night tonight at the warehouse. You see a lot of Anarchs kind of outside talking. You see some familiar faces, but somebody who's at the front door, you don't immediately recognize. They have these icy blue eyes, and he has a bald head and looks at you, and he's like, I know you. You're the Lysander.
You say that with a horrible context, I feel like, or connotation.
It's a bit of a mix. I think some people here they know that you come around these parts often, but others not so much.
Oh, so people don't like it then?
It's a bit of a mixed bag.
Could you point these individuals out?
Well, I hate to say that maybe I'm one of the leaders. The name's Genjis. Look, I know that you're one of those rich kids, okay? And look, we have all sorts of people here in the Anarchs. Not everybody has to have some horrible, like, grow up on the streets upbringing. There's a lot of people who have backgrounds like yourself, but it's just hard to believe that a Lysander would actually come around these parts and be genuine. You know, we don't know what your real motives are.
I see. Okay. Well, how could I fix that?
You know what? I appreciate you asking, but I'm not the person you want to be asking for that. You'll want to talk to the boss.
So I should go a few steps above you then?
Yeah.
That part is a Lysander thing. That I know how to do very well.
Of course.
Speaking to management. Anyway.
And yeah, he moves out of the way. If you're looking for Adder, he's in the back.
Yes, I'm predictable. Which is fair. That's exactly what that's what she's here for. So
Yep.
she very much is just weaving through.
Clearly, there's, you know, there are people that talk and or see things. You know, the goss goes among the Anarchs as well, the hot goss. So
We
it's
got hot goss here.
yeah. So it's not just a Camarilla thing or a Toreador thing. But you make your way to, you know, through the warehouse. You kind of pass by some people. They greet you in a bit more of a friendly manner than perhaps this gentleman at the door again just did. But you head toward the back and you see sitting among like some torn up couches in almost like a very stereotypical style. You see lounging on the couch with his snake slithering on one side of the couch toward him. You see Adder.
Damn it. Oh no, he's hot. I see it. I can be so cool about it though.
Yeah. I'm sure Adder's thinking the same thing.
I'm gonna be so cool about it.
It's totally not an act.
It's just them pretending to be cool to the other. That's what it is. She will walk up very excitedly. She's not good at concealing or looking cool at all. So it's the same shtick every time. When she walks into your view, it is like you see her face trying to like, but then it's like as soon as the eyes meet, she is excited and like bouncing over to see you. So.
Yeah, when he sees her come into view, he kind of swirls around off of the sofa and like runs over and like grabs her by the waist and picks her up in a hug.
Cute. That's so cute. Maki will come out as you hug and just up on the shoulder, so Maki can get a little Monty touch, little nose boot.
You see the whiskers like gently brush against Monty, and Monty's little tongue slithers at that. It's very cute.
I'm dying of the cute. Oh my god. And dude, the Anarchs aren't bad. They're just cute. In my eyes. I know it's been a long time and I'm so sorry it's taken so long. Forgive me.
Hey. Yeah, of course. Of course. What have you been up to?
Well, this could be a long conversation, but
Oh.
pin that, who is that man at the door? And by that I mean not his name, because I know his name. He gave it. And he gave me a lot of shit about coming in here.
Oh, well, you don't need to worry about him. His bark is worse than his bite. He's, he yaps a big game, but you don't need to worry about Genghis.
Yeah?
Not unless he can whip up all the rest of the Anarchs, which he spent the last longer than I've been around trying to do that.
Okay, well, as long as we won't have a problem, then I won't deal with it.
I don't think you need to deal with him. I think Anita's pretty convinced.
Okay. Yeah, he
And
said
that's
that
all you need.
he said he wasn't sure if I was being genuine by being here, which is... Do people lie a lot about this kind of thing?
It's not so much that people lie about this kind of thing, it's that new people are scrutinized because the movement has a lot of eyes on it. Anyone from the Camarilla is a suspect because, I mean, why would they join us? Do they want to escape, or do they want to get in with their bosses?
Oh, like a double agent thing.
Yeah. So, I don't blame him for thinking that, but he also doesn't know you.
What are you getting up to that the Camarilla would even care about anyway?
Oh, well, if I told you that.
Oh, right. No.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Lots of things. They would love to know our business.
Okay. It doesn't seem that secretive.
No.
Besides, isn't it just a thing that they could squash if they wanted?
They'd have a hell of a fight on their hands.
They have a hell of a fight in general with everyone right now, if you hadn't noticed. I'm
We
sure
had.
you have. From all sides, apparently. Like the Hunters and the Garu, and you guys. Oh, speaking of the Hunters, how'd that go?
Not great. I got one. And that's
One?
about it.
Tell me about it. How'd you do it?
Well, he was trying to hunt down us. So
The
I
Anarchs?
Well, me and a
You?
couple of the others were out and about.
Oh.
Well, I think we were in the wrong place at the wrong time because they were clearly busying themselves with some other cam BS, right? But they had their head on a swivel, they saw us lurking around, decided to find out what we were doing, and that was the last time anyone saw them.
So you killed them?
I really don't like it when hunters mess with you.
I don't either. They're very mean. I
They're the
don't
worst.
get why they... I don't know, just... It's not like I've hurt anybody. You know, how can you just hate someone for what they are? Well, don't answer that. I know that exists already in the mortal world, and that's a whole other issue, but... I don't know. They seem like the real monsters to me. Just killing people because of what they are? Right?
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do, what they're thinking, but most of the licks they end up dusting probably haven't been around for more than a few weeks.
Are they actually a serious problem, you think? I mean, in a fight, like, it would be pretty easy to win, right?
I don't know.
Well,
I caught
you
one
dealt with it.
unprepared.
Oh, true. The one that came after us was not unprepared. He was serious. Stormed
think it
onto the
is.
boat. He had, like, I don't know, he gave this very scary speech, very hellfire kind of, and there was fire, and I remember he went to go grab me, and then Silas and Val just ran, and honestly, I'm only alive because Maki jumped at him and tore into his throat, and then Dorian shot him, and then we ran.
Damn. I'm sorry. Sorry that happened.
Well, I'm glad you didn't show up to that party. Probably would have been horrible. So, I'm glad you had something to do that night instead. It wasn't very fun.
No.
And there's
But I
still...
would have been there to protect you, which I suppose would have been better.
That would have been nice. But, I mean, even Silas ran. And Silas never runs.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just an instinct thing?
I think if they know what hurts us, then they're going to use it. You said there was fire.
Yeah.
That's an instinct in us, but if they're prepared, then we just have to tough it out.
Well, if they're really serious about this thing, then they're probably gonna try again, I imagine. Maybe? I don't know. I would like to deal with them before that happens and deal with it in the way that you did, where they were caught unprepared.
Well, if you want to do it like I did, maybe you can find out who they're fighting, point them at someone else, catch them on unawares. I don't know.
How would you go about tracking one?
It depends. There's a couple of different kinds of hunters that I've seen. There's the ones with the badges, and then the vigilantes, the Batman.
Oh. They have, like, badges?
Yeah. So some of them end up working for the government.
Or
The government?
church. Government or the church or
That's-
both.
Or the church. It's what I've heard. I never found any.
So they congregate in churches, then?
Churches would be a good one. Anyone
Wait.
with faith.
You know, I actually had a vision about a church not too long ago. And a door. And a statue.
Maybe it's a real church.
Maybe that's where they're at. And then we can find it and we can kill them. It's that
That's the
easy.
spirit. Dealing with problems. That's what we do.
So, would you want to do that?
Kill a bunch of hunters?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I didn't think you were going to say yes.
There's a whole lot I'm willing to help you with.
Okay. Well, it doesn't always have to be about you helping me. I can also help you with things. You just never talk to me about things. It's probably because you're a man. I guess life doesn't take that away, huh?
I was like this before I was turned into a horrible blood-sucking leech. So, yeah, I suppose some of my problems I could talk about.
Problem for problem?
Problem for problem.
Okay, your turn.
So, maybe it has bothered me, the other Anarchs, a little bit. seeing us together.
They don't like it.
They don't like it.
Right.
And I don't care.
I know
But
you
it's
don't.
caused problems.
For you?
For me.
People are being mean?
Yeah, they're suspicious.
They haven't touched you or anything,
They wouldn't dare.
but they've said things.
Yeah,
And no more than that?
no more than that.
Okay. Continue.
I think it would be really nice if... I suppose I want to offer you... What we even call it? Membership?
Yeah, they hand out badges and keep on me.
They hand out
Member-
jackets, leather
Membership
jackets.
card.
You can have your own leather jacket.
Oh, you don't have to keep borrowing this one, I see.
Yeah.
You can get your own sofa, your own couch.
Oh. But do they come pre-torn like this, or is that kind of as you get a new one, and then the older an anarch you become, the more weathered it denotes experience.
Yeah,
that how
it's
it
like
works?
people wearing those pre-distressed jeans. No one's
I
done a
see.
day of work in them.
Okay. What would that look like?
I mean, you, me, go see Anita. You ask to be one of us, and we just kind of swear you in. Like a Boy Scout.
Oh. Is there anything that would keep me from seeing my family because of that?
Only that you have to live underground and give us all your money.
Oh, okay.
Good.
But can I buy like a nice underground place?
You can decorate it however you want.
Oh, I have to live here.
Yeah, well, yeah, with us in the in the hippie commune. Just everyone living together with the mole men, of course.
Oh, can I get the hippie commune sprayed for bugs? Is that allowed?
Sorry, the bugs are part of it. It's a core part of it.
Right. Okay.
I understand if you don't want to see me again.
Oh, don't be so dramatic. How about... Is that really part of it?
No.
You are seriously considering would I live in a disgusting place for this man?
I was like, do I have to make Willow roll wits and insight for this?
Do I have to live with this in this place?
She has a vision of the underground.
Yeah.
Deep
Okay.
into the mountain.
Yeah. I'd be willing to do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's a pretty serious thing, though. You know, you can't just... I really hope they don't just use you as, like, pretty boy bait to grab people in, and then you dump me, like, a month later. That'd be really fucked. I just want you to know.
That would be really fucked up. I'm trying to stop making a joke here. That would be really fucked up.
Okay, well, we're in this is serious zone. Okay,
Mhm.
You're asking serious things.
I'm asking serious things.
And it's
Will
okay.
you, Willow, join the Anarchs with me?
Oh my god! Well, you already sent me a ring. I mean, that's unconditional, though, right?
Unconditional.
Okay. Well.
It's an option. It's something for you to think about.
Oh no, I don't need to think about it. I've already thought about it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just had a whole dinner with Caden Bartlett to think about it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And no one ended up with their brains blown out?
Oh, they're still having the talk. I left.
Oh my god. How many hours has that been?
Mm, I don't know, maybe an hour since I left.
They sure can talk, can't they?
Well, yeah, there are two ventures sitting at a table in a fancy restaurant. Yeah.
Let me guess. None of them have actually said any words that mean anything.
No. Not really. It's been a lot of do this, I'll do this, and then no agreement.
Fluffing.
Yeah, a lot of fluffing. They did. I believe their plan as of last I left was oh gosh, what was it? They're having a trust issue right now. You know, Dorian doesn't trust Caden. Caden doesn't trust Dorian. Yeah. And they're trying to figure out how to facilitate that. And I think they're going to do it through maybe blackmail.
That's cute. I thought he was already married.
You wouldn't know with the way they were. But yeah, Caden was very gung-ho on the I need to make sure that the two of you are going to be with me on this and that I'm going to get you to the top of the Camarilla and, you know, if you trust me.
Wow.
He's a bit worried about the Garu currently. So he wants our support should anything happen there. And us in turn with the hunters. So that's kind of where I left. Silas left about 10 minutes in. So, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I made my
he didn't
point,
he didn't like me, but he stuck around.
Yeah.
So
It's a good sign. It's a good sign. The fact that Silas stayed at all. It's a good sign. He
he's
doesn't
very
really
mature.
Yeah, he stayed. They probably won't like this part though. They definitely won't like it. Because technically I did promise Dorian that I would be on his side. But I can't really be on his side if I do this.
It depends. What are you thinking? Do you actually want to help him?
Well, I mean, I guess if there has to be a Camarilla, I would like my brother towards the top of it. But I mean, in general, I just wish it didn't exist. So
We'll make an anarch out of you yet.
you know, maybe we should have this conversation with Anita.
You want to do it now?
Did you have something else in mind?
I was going to show you something.
Okay. I'd much rather do that then.
Just something I thought about last time, and you wanted to know more about me. Do you want to go to the campus?
Yes. 100% yes. We're not going to where you died, are we?
That is a different part than where I was thinking. But I could point it out as we go past.
We don't
Like
have to.
sightseeing.
No, I don't know if I want to sightsee the place where you were killed.
Good, me either.
Okay, then let's just avoid it. But
Yeah.
I'd like to go to the other parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ada is going to take Willow to a very nice part of the library in the campus, and you can get right onto the top and see out across some of the parts of Chicago.
By the campus, do you mean like the University of Chicago?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And he knows he's not supposed to be there.
Just
It's
yes,
the fun part.
Yes, just
We're
making
breaking-
sure.
We're breaking in.
Yeah, very kidding.
Exciting! Okay, this is like initiation.
Yes.
Committing
Well.
a crime.
So it's a university library, so we've got to jump the turnstile, then we've got to make it up to the top without anyone noticing, and I probably have to break a lock. But it won't be too hard.
All right, just quickly roll me Dex larceny.
I'm really strong, so I'm just gonna pop the lock.
Strength larceny, fine.
Yeah. Boy, I have no points in larceny.
Well,
Never mind.
wow. Well,
I do.
if you need to,
3.
if you fail, then Willow can help.
Don't worry. Up your slack if you fail.
As usual.
I'm sure you'll pop it off. It'll be fine. You strong boy. You can do it.
Okay, 3 successes.
3 successes, yes. You were able to successfully pick the lock. It's not like Skyrim where it breaks and it's like, "Chung," and then like it's like, oh shit, now I gotta get another one. You are able to use your lockpick and break in. And I won't have you guys roll like a dex stealth or anything. You're able to navigate around. You're kindred. It's not that, and you are both of you being frequenting the campus. You kind of know your way to avoid the cameras and stuff like that. So you're able to make your way through.
So up here you realize that it's not really a great view of Chicago. You can see a few nice parts of the campus, and it's quite pretty at night. But it's not a fantastic view. But Ada kind of pulls up one of those plastic chairs that's just kind of been left out here.
Yes.
So this is where my brother and I used to hang out. And I thought I wanted you to see it.
She looks out at the view because she knows how important this probably was to him. Because I believe his brothers were the only family he had, and they're still living. Have you ever showed this to anybody before?
Nope. Just my brother. He was the one who was the book nerd.
Ah.
He taught me quite a lot.
What'd he end up doing?
Right now, he is working in the DA's office.
Oh. Is that what he always wanted to do?
I think he probably thought he'd be Superman.
Ah.
Or
I see.
maybe someone who saves lives. But yeah, he dug himself out of a pretty big hole. So
That's honestly really cool and in a way. I mean, we don't have Superman, but maybe he'll make DAs don't make laws. Sorry. What do they do? No, they're like lawyers.
Yeah, and he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer. Hopefully he'll
He might do some
help
good.
some people.
I'm sure he will, and I mean that's kind of the way you do good. I think is not like big, grandiose gestures. It's just little things, helping out. You know, your everyday person, and even if it's only a few people. I mean, I've known a lot of people who do a lot of bad on very big scales, and it's nice to know that there are still normal people who do good, even in little ways. It adds up.
We can hope.
I mean, that's the whole point, right? And the point of the movement, too, right?
Yeah, I guess. I'm not always convinced by it, but it's nice. It's nice to have people around you, at the very least.
Better than the alternative, too.
A lot better.
But, you know, things can change. In little ways.
What do you want to see different?
In the world or in... what scale are we talking?
Whatever scale you want.
Okay.
In your life?
We could start small.
Yeah.
Work up from there. I'd like to see Silas be able to get out of his brother's shadow, and his father, our father. I'd like him to be able to admit that he feels that way too. I'd like Dorian to spend more time at home with his kids and get to see them grow up and maybe break the horrible generational cycle of being a shitty dad and turning your children into kindred. I'd like, honestly, Val's living kind of a good life. I don't know if I could want anything more for her. She's desired by everyone and gets to travel wherever she wants, and now is going to remain eternally beautiful. So I guess she's already gotten what she wanted.
Big win.
I hope she continues to get to do that. And I think that's it.
What about you?
Good question. I'd like to figure out what that is. For starters. And I think I'd like to use what has happened. I don't think anyone ever wants to be what we are. Maybe there are some people. And certainly some people deal with it better than others. I'd like to use this horrible thing that has happened to hopefully... I want to turn it into a good thing. I don't want to be what hunters and Garu think we are. And I don't know how I do that, but I'd like to figure that out. However that takes effect. And maybe it's with the Anarchs. Hopefully it's with you. Yeah, I'd like to start with that. Hopefully that's not too lofty.
No, I think that's a really good place to aim for. And for what it's worth, I hope it's with me as well.
Yeah, I think it will be.
He steps in and he kisses her on top of the roof.
Aww.
Oh, go! Too romantic. Ugh. Not these hopeless dreamers. Not these hopeless dreamers.
Right? It's...
Fire and brimstone and werewolves and hunters.
all around them. But look at these two little sweeties who want to do good things.
Yeah.
Oh, love to see it. they'll probably die a horrible death.
Aw.
That's what we can hope for.
Honestly, might be better. might be better for them.
Eternally bloodthirsty.
Ugh. Anyway, I imagine for that night they probably continue the conversation further. Even though they are both cold creatures, they probably snuggle and talk about their goals and just life in general and his family and her family. That's what I picture.
Yeah.
And you do spend the rest of that night just spending time together. And it's kind of nice. And it's definitely a break from some of the other things that you've had to deal with. Not just this night, but many other nights. And you head back, Willow, because you actually learn, and again, according to the timeline, it's a bit timey-wimey, but you do get the news of what happened with Dorian and his son at the hospital. And so you head out the next night to spend time with them and so are busy for a couple of nights. But a few nights do pass, and you do want to continue some of the conversation that you had with Adder. You sit a bit on what he proposed about if people want to take things more seriously between you and him and the Anarchs and all of the things that they've been saying, that perhaps a show of that in whatever way Anita may want to, that offer still stands. And it's something you consider, and you could maybe talk about more with Adder. But a few nights pass, and you once again make your way back to the main base of where the Anarchs are. There are, of course, other locations where the Anarchs spend time, but this seems to be a common hub for many of them. And you once again meet up with Adder. Adder, things have been a bit slow for you guys as well. Again, you've been mostly laying low, similar to the rest of the city, as the hunter threat doesn't just extend to the Camarilla, but of course you as well, and not just in the city itself, but out of the city limits, which is where you are right now. So it's been quiet, as quiet as it can be. But Willow, you return, and Adder, you see Willow reconvene a few nights later.
She approaches not excited this time. Not upset, but very certainly her expression is very neutral for once. And her hands are clasped in front of her, kind of down. And it's almost timidly that she approaches and just kind of stares at you a bit, honestly, unsettlingly. So, is that offer still up?
I want to join the fraternity of dead rebels. Yeah, it is.
Well, I'm ready. Whenever you are.
I can take you to see Anita now if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You all right?
Yeah, it's like the first thing I've ever done for myself. And it's a little scary.
Oh, well, we're not blood-sucking vampires.
Mm-hmm.
We won't bite.
Right.
And he holds out his hand.
She'll take it and clutch very tightly.
Let's go see Anita.
The two of you head toward the back. Outside of the warehouse, there's like a back area where this is. It kind of overlooks, not directly the lake, but if you looked far enough in the distance, you could see the lake. The moon tonight is like really glowing in some ways. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a full moon, but it's getting toward that. And you see Anita kind of looking up at the moon as you both approach. She had something in her hands, but as the two of you approach, she puts it away and looks. Oh, it's Willow. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. How are things with the family? It's been a while since I've seen the rest of the Lysanders come by. I guess that was a one and done thing, huh?
It probably will be. Yeah, they're unfortunately a lot like my dad.
Unfortunate.
Or just scared. Either way.
The Camarilla has that effect. It will sometimes use fear to make you stay. So I empathize in some ways. I'm not going to tell you that the things that happen with your family is all their fault. Sometimes that's just what the system does to you.
Yeah. It certainly is. And no matter what, it still doesn't protect them from what's going on. But they're convinced.
No. And the threats keep growing more and more in the city.
Yeah.
Well, we need all the help we can get, right? Anita, I want to vouch for Willow.
Anita gives you a look. I see. Vouch for her to be one of us.
Yep.
Well, look, I do see Willow coming back again and again to be here, to spend time here, and it doesn't go unnoticed, not just by me, of course, but by many others in the group. And of course, there are sometimes the doubts. Is it just two pretty faces who caught each other's eye and now just want to stick around? Or is there actually something deeper? It's not something for me to necessarily determine. But if you're willing to vouch, Adder, that means that you're also willing to, if anything were to happen, if Willow was to, I don't know, send her family to raid our warehouse here the next following night, that you would take responsibility for that.
I know what it means.
And you're willing to make that decision.
I'll take responsibility.
Willow, I am willing to have you join us. However, I think there may need to be some convincing among the group as a whole. Perhaps we can do something as a show of your initiation. Not necessarily, we don't have to do a hazing or anything like that. We don't. This isn't a fraternity, but but maybe just a little something you can do to show everybody that you're in it. You know.
You have an idea?
Well, I was thinking about a few things. I know that, look, I'm sure Perhaps Adder has given you the history lesson, but this is but not the wolves. Obviously, I've talked to you and your family about the wolves and the problem that I still deal with. The hunters are obviously still a problem, and that we're all dealing with as a whole. So those wouldn't really work. But there is something within the Camarilla, perhaps, that you can just put a little something to bring them down a notch. It's historically, the Anarchs really have not liked one certain bloodline. Hardestat. It's just something that stirs within us all when we hear that name. And you know, it really would be something if we just took our own very own Hardestat in the city, Bartlett and Zenith, the company. Maybe we just did a little something to show their company we're not really friends, you know?
See,
What are you thinking, Anita? I don't want you to make her do anything dangerous. She's already provided us a crap ton of guns and support. She's already shown that she's in for the fight.
Yes, the guns, that was a nice gesture, of course. The delivering of not the head of the werewolf I was looking for, you know, that was at least a start of showing allyship and support. But again, it's not for me. It's for the rest of the group. So they know that Willow's in.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a big thing. You don't have to blow up Bartlett and Zenith, the building. You don't have to assassinate Caden. Hell, just something to that's just a small nudge at him. That's all I'm thinking.
Let's see. What could we do?
I don't know. Maybe he has an asset. Maybe he has a fancy yacht we can blow up. No, I just said so we wouldn't blow anything up. We're not all about blowing up buildings and things like that. That's not our MO. But again, just something to take him down a small peg. You don't have to do it right now. It doesn't even have to be something you necessarily do tonight. But if you can go up and stand up there in front of all of the Anarchs and at least give them your word, consider it like a boon of sorts, that you'll do something for Caden to hurt Caden. And I think that'll convince the movement as a whole that you're on our side.
Do I know? I'm just making sure that I'm not mistaking my knowledge and Willow's. We know about the Thea thing. The Thea thing? Do we not?
That yes, you know that they were dating. Yes, you know that they were dating, and you do know like that. There's like the footage of him breaking the masquerade and all that stuff that she has. So,
Okay.
yes.
I know Silas has it.
Yes, you know Silas has it.
I don't know if this would be enough. But it could ruin him. Would that be enough?
I think that would be more than enough.
My brother holds video evidence of Caden at a party, kind of losing control. Something that would put him in great disfavor in the Camarilla. I don't know if that's enough.
I think that is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for, yes. Anything to knock him down a peg in the Camarilla.
Yeah, I think that would do it. Silas has it, though. I'd have to get it.
Yes, well, again, it's not something you necessarily have to do tonight, but for a show, perhaps we put on a little song and dance. Again, this isn't exactly Elysium here, but we should at least say something to the rest of the group that this is our newest member. So perhaps, Willow, if you would care to join me, we'll head inside and say a few words.
Okay.
Not public speaking.
Yes.
Not her worst fear.
Anita walks in with you, and Adder, you follow closely behind. The three of you head toward the center of the warehouse, where there's like a small platform, like a little stage that if you ever have to have meetings or chats or whatever, that is where you go. And Anita walks onto the stage, the small platform stage, and she yells with somewhat of an authority into the crowd. All right, listen up, everybody. And it takes a bit of time. She yells a couple more times to tell everybody to shut the fuck up, as per nobody listening. And, the angry Brujah in her comes out for a second. But eventually the crowd begins to listen. And you see that very bright moonlight kind of filtering through, like there's this high window behind her as she stands on this platform. It almost illuminates like a spotlight in some ways. And you see the anarchs begin to gather around and get a little bit closer to the stage. It's a whole motley crew of various types of anarchs, from Gangrel, Ministry, Brujah, a few Toreador even. And then some that the clan you're not even fully able to identify upon kind of just taking a first look. And Anita begins to address the small crowd. My kindred, tonight we welcome a new member to our revolutionary group. None other than a Lysander, and there's a bit of a murmur, a daughter of one of the most influential kindred families here in Chicago. Willow, Lysander, why don't you join me? And she looks toward you.
She is holding Machiavelli very tightly.
Machiavelli gives you a paw on your chest a bit for support, and the two of you walk on the stage. Many of you know that the Camarilla, it can be stifling to many, and I'm sure Willow is no stranger to how they can be. Being from a family that has long served the Camarilla, we find a kindred who chooses a different path. In general, freedom is a cornerstone of the Anarch movement. We fight for the right to exist on our own terms, not dictated by ancient kindred who cling to something that was around for centuries. Here in Chicago, we carve our own destiny. But of course, that freedom does come with responsibility. We are a movement. We're not a coven. You will answer for your actions, not by some justicar or sheriff, but by your fellow anarchs. So I ask you, Willow, is this a responsibility that you are willing to take on?
100%, yes.
You see, in the crowd, they're not fully convinced. One of them makes a comment Did her boyfriend make her do this?
Ada instantly turns on Dawn and just stares daggers at that person.
It was sure enough, it was Genghis. And
Of course it was.
and Adder, you use Daunt on him, and he immediately calms down a bit.
No. He's definitely a big reason. Obviously, I want to commit to him, but I think in this case, being who I am, I know what my name means, and I know its connection to the Camarilla. But because of that, I'd argue that I've seen just how horrible they can be. Hell, they were horrible, these families, before I even knew that they were kindred. I was connected to them, and I saw how horrible they were even as a mortal. And I've spent my whole life with it. It wasn't something that I'm not like a lot of you, I understand. I've dealt with the Camarilla my whole life, since I was born, really. And I think with that knowledge, I can use it to better help us as a whole and us as individuals. And I want to take all of the resources that being who I am allows me, and I want to put it towards something good for once. Because Lord knows no one else in my family is going to do that. And I'd like to break the cycle a little bit, even in this small way. And I hope that you all will let me do that and help me do that. Then she kind of shrinks in a little bit.
Willow,
Very nervous.
your words do have impact, but I would just like you to roll me a charisma persuasion to just see how the crowd is moved one way or another.
Okay. Persuasion. Okay. Poise. 3 successes.
3 successes. You look at the small crowd. There's probably no more than like 25 people here. Maybe, and there's still some that linger outside. They didn't even fully join in and listen. But they do seem at least somewhat convinced by your words. And Anita speaks up. Willow has also offered to do an initiation of sorts to prove that she does want to be part of our movement. And this isn't just an act. This isn't just something she was told to do. If any of you do feel proof is needed, she will provide. And with that, Willow, in the coming nights, will take something from Hardestat. And then you hear that, and people in the crowd booing. Boo! At the name Hardestat. Take something of his. Something, just a small stab at his own ego. Just to show that it's not about the Camarilla. It's not about the bloodlines. It really is about making a change and making a difference. And the crowd is cheering at that. And they're like, yeah. And so eventually they seem a bit more convinced at this. And with a bit of applause and cheer, Anita then says, and with that, we welcome you, Willow Lysander, to the Anarch movement of Chicago. And people once again cheer, and there's a bit of a commotion. Some people start throwing beer up in the air at the stage. And yeah, They very much are at least convinced. And the crowd slowly disperses. Anita looks at you. Good work. I think that will convince the rest of them. But of course, showing that you can do more will definitely get the people, the Anarch movement on your side fully.
Right. Well, it just requires me to break into the chantry.
Well, you are, of course, a Malkavian that moves in the shadows, so perhaps you'll find a way.
I will.
If you do hear anything more of the lupine, of course, let me know. Your arsenal has certainly helped, but they've been not making many moves in the city as of late. And so I've been trying to look outside of Chicago in the surrounding suburbs to see if I can find anything. But if you hear any word of where they might be, do let me know.
You intend to fight them?
I still want retribution for what was taken from me.
Even if it gets you killed?
Sometimes the most important things that you fight for end up getting you killed. I wouldn't be the first Anarch. I'm sure I won't be the last.
Right. I'll let you know if I find anything out. Though the hunters might very well beat us to the punch. With how things are now.
Yes, unfortunate that they've started making more moves as well. So many things that we have to keep track of. But of course, do stay safe.
You as well.
And Anita walks off, takes her leave, leaving the two of you once again.
Her like, okay, I can be in panic mode now. Oh, the important person is gone and people have dispersed. Which is
really
exactly
well
what
done.
she looks like when she turns to you like,
You didn't tell me that I was gonna have to talk in front of people.
I didn't know. That was Anita trying to twist your arm a little bit. But you nailed it. He puts his hand on your shoulder and he's like, you did really well.
Yeah, thank you. I hate doing that, but also, my father made us take public speaking classes.
That must have been awful.
Yeah, it was. So I'm good at it, but it doesn't mean I want to do it.
No, yeah, I can see how that would be really painful. But hopefully there's no more of that.
Also, are people actually just gonna accept that? Is this really gonna be enough? Nobody's gonna do anything?
No one's gonna do anything. They might be skeptical, but they trust in Anita and her judgment, so they're gonna have to wait for you to prove yourself to them.
So now what? It's just that's it?
That's it. Easy. Break into the chantry, steal a doohickey. You're in.
no,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Simple. I've seen you do much harder things.
If I do this, that's... Oh, my God. They've got to know it wasn't me. If Silas or Dorn...
Did I make it far enough into the conversation to know that Dorian traded that?
I
don't
think
recall.
you left before they made that deal. Now all of the siblings are vying for this one thing on Caden. And I did not plan. Like, this is amazing. This is now all three of the siblings need this one thing. And I don't know who's going to end up with it.
What happens if I don't get it? Do they kick me out?
They might be a little suspicious of you.
Well, I
don't
could do
think
another
that-
thing.
If you can think of another thing to do. I mean, I'll say it. Stealing something like that can get him in so much trouble would be really damn impressive. It would get you some clout.
Oh. Okay.
If you can do something else, people will probably not take as much notice unless, I guess, if you do blow up a building, but I don't think you should do that. I mostly don't think you should do that.
Okay. No blowing up buildings. I don't have to do that.
No.
No.
If you can think of something else, they might accept that. Anita will know. But
It's just a really hard thing. Oh, but it would be such a good thing.
well, don't worry about that now. Pick your opportunity, you know?
Yeah, now I need to think about this.
You see Willow in her little usual Malkavian kind of moment where she's just sometimes just disassociates for a moment, but you're used to it.
She goes other places sometimes.
Yeah.
But, you know. Oh. You know, that's a good point.
Could I try something again on you?
Sure.
Can I have your hand?
Yeah. He stretches out.
She will take it. She wants to see if his fate has changed
Okay.
from last she checked.
Roll me the usual, which I believe is first a rouse check because you're forcing this one. So first rouse and then resolve and auspex.
I fail the rouse.
Okay, you get a little hungry.
Okay.
I think your hungy's getting pretty high.
Hungy's pretty high,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
But this is worth it. It's for the names. Okay, and then resolve and aspects. Oh, the thunder. I don't know if you can.
No. That's
Okay,
gonna get
good.
me soon.
And then let's roll this. Oh, okay. Nice. 3 successes.
3
At
successes.
least that was a good roll.
Okay. You grab Adder's hand, and Adder, you see it once again. The swirling eyes swirl a bit more as she gets fully, not catatonic for a moment, and you see her go to her place. The cobweb is where she goes, the Malkavian web. And Willow, you once again focus on Adder, and you focus all of your thoughts and energy on him just to get a glimpse of anything, of his future, of what you see. And you do see that park once again. That same damn Anarch Park. The park that the first job that Prince Jackson gave you and your coterie to get that park away from the Anarchs, how this all started. He's back there again. And in the distance, you see a full moon. Below it, the shape of a tall creature. Once again, you see a wolf heading in his direction. That same vision you saw ready to tear his head. He stands there, armed, ready to strike back. But this time, your vision changes. You look around, watching what's to happen. In the last vision, you were there standing, ready to grab his hand before something happened. But this time you see in the distance, beyond him, beyond the Garu, you see toward the edge of the park a person with a gun. They look down the sights, ready to fire. And upon gazing closer, you see on their hand, on their arm, the mark of a cross, ready to shoot from the distance at their target. As you look to see which target it might be, the Garu or Adder, your vision fades and you're brought back to reality. And you look across at Adder, who was just watching you for a split second as you disassociate, but now you return.
Back to life.
I don't know if that's better or worse. Huh.
But it's different, right?
Not better for you, though.
Oh. Cool. I thought I'd learned something, but maybe not.
The vision's still the same. But in addition, there's someone off to the side with
A crossbow, yes?
Yes, I would say it looked like more of a crossbow than it did like a gun.
Okay. There's an individual with a cross on their arm aiming a crossbow at you both. Or one of you? I don't know.
Right.
So I don't know if that's worse. You possibly have another person trying to kill you.
Maybe I made some enemies.
You?
I know. Lovable, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
you did kill a hunter, so.
I did kill that one hunter.
You know anything about that hunter you killed more than that? I think you
God.
might have pissed him off.
Well, he's dead, so I can't do anything about it. That was the point.
Well, his friends could.
Fuck.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll steer clear of werewolves and hunters.
And that park.
And that park.
Though, I trust that that will be easier since I'll get to be around more often.
Yeah. That will be a lot easier. And you know, I will have other things to do because I managed to get together a little cell, me and a couple of others, and we have the kit. So if you decide that it is time to go and your dad, I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Always.
Willow, you remember the last time that you met with Adder and Dorian? There was discussion about Adder and the Anarchs potentially helping take care of your dad or whatever. There wasn't really a solid plan of how that would be executed, but you at least got somewhat of a buy-in if that time came.
Well, I guess also we should consider if my father dies, I do think Caden wins.
Then maybe we have to kill Caden too.
Oh no, too.
Oh no. That would be the worst.
Dang.
Did I tell you about what happened to the last hardest stat?
Yeah, you told
The-
me.
Oh yeah,
Theo
with like
Bell. Yeah. Are
Maybe
you
we can
wanting
try
to be the next Theo?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
I can see it. I can't wait to read about you in old textbooks. It'll be great.
Old textbooks. Yeah. That's so
Well,
sweet.
I guess they'll be new, but you know, in the future they'll be old.
In the future, they'll be old. No, I
Yeah.
appreciate the forethought.
That's what I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, people write books about it.
I would. Well, maybe not a full book, but I'd be willing to write some notes and hire someone to write a book about you if you'd like. A ghostwriter.
That's... Oh,
A wraith writer.
a wraith.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it then. Maybe we should decide on a keyword, like
For when?
for when it's time to pop off. Something deniable, so that like, oh, I sent a text.
Okay, what's
And
something we
it's-
wouldn't say?
Dorian is my favorite. Something like that.
Dorian is not carrying a gun.
Dorian's not carrying a gun. Cool.
Could that be looped back though? Because we're talking about guns. Is that too close?
Dorian is not carrying a wallet.
Oh, yeah, that would never happen. Perfect. Okay. That's the signal.
That's the signal.
Dorian's not carrying a wallet. Machiavelli, please remember that.
Machiavelli nods. Monty also slithers his tongue.
The children remember.
Yeah.
Our children know. Okay, that's what matters. Well, with all of that out of the way, we could start looking at places for, you know, you to actually reside.
Like,
Is that too forward?
no. I mean, what sort of thing are you thinking? Would you also be there?
Do you not want me to be?
I would. I wanted to make sure that you would also want
You
to
know,
be there.
I could get a place that's close to the warehouse, but you know, look, I appreciate that you are a rough and tumble man, but I am not a rough and tumble man. I realize that's showing. Look, I've lived a certain way my whole life, and I'm willing to make compromises, but my living situation will not be one of them. It can have exposed brick. If that makes you feel more at home.
We'll have to talk about the decorating situation.
Well, you can pick most of that. I just would like a place that is nice.
Okay. Like one bed. One bed apartment.
One bed.
Yeah.
One bed.
Like a
one,
duplex?
One bedroom.
Yeah, one bedroom.
Yeah, unless you want another for like guests. I don't know
Yeah,
how many guests you would have.
I mean, they'd all fit in the one sitting room /
Oh.
kitchen.
We would make them sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I can't imagine very big. How big is nice for you?
It's just whatever we want. There's not really a limit.
It's not a limit?
We're just like, we don't have to compromise.
Willow can buy whatever she wants. And
It's just whatever you want.
This is a hard concept for you, Adder. Like, you're like, oh, like we have to like look at like Zillow and like find a place, or that's in the U.S. that Zillow is like to rent apartment. Like, oh, but like Willow is just making it like we can just get whatever we want and I'll just buy it. And so it's taking you a minute to grasp that, but eventually you realize like, oh yes, she's a Lysander. Yeah. She bought you a bike and she bought you a shit ton of weapons. So
Of course. Owning things.
It's just wherever you want to live. Anywhere. I mean, it doesn't have to be close to the warehouse. I just figured you'd want it for the ease to see everybody, but it could be anything. At all. You know.
Oh man, I don't mind a commute.
Okay. Just pick a place.
I've never had to think about this before.
It's good that you are now, right?
Yeah, this is really good.
Yeah, wherever you want in the city. Seriously.
Cool.
Just
Let's
find
look.
places and we can go look at them. Since it's, I mean, it's my real estate agent, so like they're totally cool with they're cool. So they'll get us places that we can see at night, and yeah. So if you see a building while you're driving around and you think maybe you'd like to live there, we could totally live there.
Wow. That's really cool. Thank you.
What's mine is yours.
What's mine is yours.
Well, I do get something pretty great with that. She gives like a little poke to your chest.
if Adder had reactions like he did, like, oh, it would, but it just like, you just like kind of just take it and it doesn't, maybe for a second you have the instinct to move, but it just kind of goes stone cold into his corpse-like body.
Well, I guess I did promise you a leather jacket. So you can have this one if you want.
Oh, yeah, I would prefer that one.
Yeah,
I know I could get a different one, but I want that one.
Right. No, he takes off the leather jacket and he's right, of course. No.
Good.
I hereby bestow upon you the great honor of Lady of the Anarchs.
Of the Anarchs? You're sharing me with people now?
No, it's okay. No, never mind. No share. No, I mean, you are mine. And
there we go.
This is our jacket.
Our jacket. Our jacket.
Our jacket.
Just ours, though.
Just ours.
Well, maybe. Well, Monty and Machiavelli they count.
Well, they'll fit in it with us. That's only fair.
Fit in the pocket.
Yeah.
Well, to our jacket.
To our jacket.
And she will give him a kiss.
I imagine they probably spend a little while just hugging and snuggling and just looking out.
They're being real
across,
cute.
Yeah, across Chicago.
Talking about what buildings they think look nice, getting the excitement, asking, well, Maki and obviously Machiavelli and Monty will be free range, free roam. We don't give them cages or anything or tanks.
Just put in a cat door.
They're free roam little animals. You talk about like buildings without windows and like one room that will be like sunproof and all of that and what kind of protection. And it's kind of exciting to, you know, that whole like new place kind of talk where you get like excited about what the possibilities could be. And it is very blissfully nice for the rest of the evening.
Oh.
Is there anything else that either of you need to do or say before? This sounds so dramatic. Any last words?
Any last words to each other before we die?
This will not be the end of Adder or Willow, anybody. But for this session, any last things that you want to say or do before we close out?
Well, we did talk about blowing up buildings, so no.
So
let's
talk
do
about
that.
going to the hunters.
Yeah.
And killing them.
So let's do that now. No.
I think that's everything. Did I
Okay.
hit everything on the list?
on the
This man's got a list.
He does. He's like things to say to like Adder, just things to say to
Things to
Willow.
say to Willow this night.
But with all of that, then we close our evening between Willow and Adder as they say their goodbyes and plan for the future, and hopefully, what can be not full of turmoil and tumultuous problems that they're dealing with in the city. Willow, as you get in your car, go off with Lucas back into the city, you are reminded of all of the problems that come with Chicago and all of the things that you have to think about, not just with your family, but also now with Caden and the hunters and the lupine and the thing that your family keeps. The problems ever grow, but for a moment you can think, maybe at least I can spend some happy nights with Adder in a new place. Just to think about some of those things that you talked about with the Anarchs. And then the camera fades with Willow initiated into the Anarchs. Yay! Good job! Woo!
Oh no, my anarchy symbol.
Oh no, my anarchy symbol. Oops, my anarchy symbol.
Yes, finally!
Yes. Thank you both for joining for this little session as we get a better glimpse at the Willow and Adder story that continues. And of course, to everybody who watched, to everybody's watching, thank you guys so much. We will be back with another one-off between Dorian and, surprise, surprise, probably Caden, and then Silent.
Another love affair.
Yeah, another. If you want another romance subplot.
Also a romance episode.
Yeah, and for our other romance subplot, Dorian and Caden. And then our last one that's a little bit harder, Silas and his Tremere Lab partner. And his sire that he gets to see. So, yes, join us for those one-offs as well. And then, of course, the return of our coterie in a couple of weeks or a couple of episodes. So thanks so much, everybody. We will see you in the next one. And, of course, don't let the beast win. Goodbye.
Bye.